It all started when I was running late for my flight. As I rushed through the crowded airport terminal, I spotted a suitcase that looked just like mine sitting unattended near the gate. With only minutes to spare, I grabbed it without a second thought, thinking it would be a funny story later. But as I settled into my seat, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had made a huge mistake. The moment I opened the suitcase to pull out my things, I was hit by a nauseating smell, something like burnt rubber mixed with gasoline. Honestly, I was just trying to find my headphones, but instead, I found something far more disturbing. Tucked away in a hidden compartment was a small, black notebook with strange symbols and handwritten notes that seemed to detail illegal activities. One entry caught my eye: meet at 10 p.m. Central Park, exchange the package. My heart began to race as I realized this was no ordinary suitcase. It felt like I had stumbled upon something dangerous. And that's when I noticed something terrifying. There was a tracking device attached to the side of the suitcase. Panic set in as I recalled the faces of the people I'd seen lurking around the terminal, their eyes glued to me as I walked by. I could almost hear one whispering, "That's him," right before I took off running towards security. Now I was not just a traveler. I was a fugitive on the run from unknown pursuers. When I finally stepped off the plane in New York, I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but it was short-lived. I could see two men in suits scanning the crowd, their eyes locking onto mine. I ducked into a nearby bathroom, my mind racing, trying to figure out how to get rid of the suitcase without drawing attention. But wait, it gets worse. As I opened the suitcase again, I found stacks of cash, like thousands of dollars, and photos of people I didn't recognize. Who were they, and why was their money stuffed in this random suitcase? I snapped a quick photo of the notebook with my phone, just in case I needed proof or a way out of this mess. But as I exited the bathroom, I bumped into an old acquaintance from college, Sarah, who had no idea of the chaos unfolding around me. "Hey, long time no see," she exclaimed, her voice echoing in the empty terminal. I forced a smile, but inside I was screaming, "Get away from me," because I knew the men were getting closer. Just as I was about to make an excuse to leave, I overheard the two men talking. "We need to find the suitcase before it's too late," one said, his voice low and urgent. My stomach dropped. They were looking for me. I sprinted outside into the cold New York air, adrenaline pumping through my veins. But what I didn't realize was that they were already monitoring my every move. In a desperate attempt to escape, I jumped into an Uber and told the driver to take me to the nearest hotel. But as we drove away, my phone buzzed with an anonymous message. "We know you have it. Return the suitcase and no one gets hurt." I couldn't believe it. I was in way over my head, and the stakes were higher than I ever imagined. And that's when I checked the camera footage from the airport to gather clues on who was after me. What I saw shocked me. A woman I had never seen before was watching me closely just moments before I grabbed the suitcase. Her expression was cold and calculating, and I could almost feel her eyes boring into me through the screen. Now I was not just being hunted. I had become part of an unsolved mystery involving a suitcase full of cash and possibly even worse. With the police now involved, I had to decide whether to go to them for help or risk it all and dig deeper. But the real question loomed over me. Who was she, and what had I really gotten myself into? What do you think happened? Comment below.